How to walk away from a toxic relationship. Hi, it's Magda K, and in this video, I want to help you move on from a toxic relationship and break this pattern so you can attract a healthy, fulfilling relationship to your life. Breakups and moving on is hard in any case, but if your relationship was toxic, this is going to be extra difficult. Now, this specific dynamic, the toxicity of this relationship, impacts your brain the same way that drugs, alcohol, or gambling does. So there are chemical changes to your brain that make it really hard to move on, let the past go, and change the habit. And it really may feel like a rehab. In a toxic relationship, everything is more intense. So the highs are really high and the lows are really low. And it's that intensity that creates addiction. So then you find yourself maybe even consciously aware that this dynamic isn't healthy and that this is not what you want, but you're just unable to walk away. So let's say your partner keeps cheating on you or abuses you verbally or emotionally, and yet you end up forgiving them and coming back. There's this feeling of being powerless, helpless, of not being in control of your own behavior. It's like you may want to walk away, you know this is not good for you, but you just cannot do anything about it. So if you feel indeed powerless in that dynamic, what can you do to walk away? What can you do to let that pattern in the past move on and change this? So the first step is that you need to become aware that this is your pattern, meaning you attract that sort of relationships for a reason. You're getting something from that. So we'll look at this. Then secondly, we want to be able to clear the energy of this old relationship, of that person that felt toxic to you. We got to make sure that all of this energy is out of your body so you're free to move on. And finally, we want to learn from this experience. We want to understand what is it that we are not providing to ourselves that make us fall into that pattern. So in other words, time to change that. So let's look at the first step, and this is becoming aware of the pattern. So what happens when we in adult life meet a potential partner? We think that we consciously choose them, that we can recognize this person will be good for me, they're attractive, I feel the chemistry, let's go into it. What actually happens for most of us is that the inner child, which is the part of you that carries all of the beliefs and the wounding that's linked to the subconscious mind, that part gets activated. So if in your childhood you didn't receive enough affection and love from one or both of your parents, then this inner child in you knows only that. It knows what it's like not to have their needs for affection met. And so when later in your adult life you come across someone who's unavailable, who is not emotionally there, ready to meet you in a committed and healthy relationship, the inner child recognizes this as a familiar pattern. And what the inner child really wants is to get another chance. So it gets us into situations that replicate our wounding from childhood with the hope that this time it's going to do better and it will receive the love and affection that it didn't in the past. So this is why if you got into a toxic relationship, you probably found yourself doing a lot of things for the other person, trying to please them through many different ways. Because it's the inner child. This time I'll get it right. This time I'll be better. And so what happens is that you start sacrificing yourself and start putting your own needs on the side because the inner child wants to please that partner. It wants to show them that you are the best person ever so that you receive the love and affection. So you have to recognize that if you have the pattern of attracting toxic partners, that it's a deep part of you that's hurt, that's looking for healing. And look, this is really not the reason to feel shame or guilt for this pattern because hardly anyone on this planet was raised in a family that knew how to love them. So most of us are walking inner children with our own wounds. We all react in some way. So if that's yours, all you can celebrate is the awareness that you know what your wounding is. But keep in mind, really, we all have wounds we need to work on. We all need to do healing and integration. And for all of us, these wounds come and sabotage our happiness. So if this is your pattern, then you at least know what you're working with. So now let's look at the second step, and that's clearing the energy. Well, in fact, you need to do clearing on 4 levels: the physical, emotional, energy, and mental level. Because we can get connected and attached to other people on one or all of those levels. And so you want to make sure you clear all of this to be really liberated and free from their energy. So, starting from the mental level, one of the things with toxic relationships is that we have this tendency of idealizing them. Like in a relationship, we think that the partner is perfect. We're meant to be together. This is the best relationship you've had. It's full of passion, full of love. But actually, once you break up and you separate yourself, you get to see that it wasn't as perfect as you thought. So, to clear the energy on the mental level, what you want to do is take a journal and start writing all the aspects of this relationship which were not perfect. So, all the ways how you were not met, all the things that your partner did that were bad. Like, what are the things that you want to leave in the past and you would not want your new partner to replicate? So, you really have to start seeing this relationship for what it was. It was not a perfect relationship. That wasn't true love. That wasn't the love of your life. It was probably a beautiful relationship with a lot of bad things, and you have to become aware of the bad. We got to let go of the illusion, and this is how we clear the connection on a mental level. On a physical level, we do it by cutting the contact with this person. Now, this is where this may be a bit challenging. For some people, like blocking each other, stopping any communication is the way to go, but other people may need to like slow into this process. So if you think, for example, if you're really addicted to sugar, right? Some people may just, okay, it's out, I'm not having any white sugar anymore, and that works for them. But other people may need to just diminish the amount of sugar they eat until they're ready to let it go. So you have to kind of see what will work for you best in this case. But remember that even if you are still somewhat in touch, the intention is to eventually separate yourself and not be in any contact. Now, this is, I know, really painful to realize, because when you were together, you're probably very deeply in love. You may have been planning your whole future with this person, and now you're realizing that they are actually toxic for you, that they are bad for you. And just like you want to be able to remove anything that's toxic from your life, like any chemicals, if there's any friends who like use you, you want to get all of this out of your life because it doesn't serve you. That's the same here. This partner is bad for you. They have a bad impact on you, and it actually is needed to get them out of your life. So whether you do it right away or progressively, remember that this is the intention. This is a toxic person, a toxic pattern. Really, you'll be better off separating yourself fully from them. Another way how you cleanse the energy on the physical level is through various forms of purging. So this can be going to the sauna, going to the gym, and sweating. Like sweat the energy out. Just make sure that you're adding the intention. And if you work with medicine or kambo, if you do vamanadauti, which is drinking the water and then purging it out, any form of kriyas, all of this will be also helpful. The only thing is, when you let physical substances out of your body, visualize that you're letting go of the old relationship, of the old pattern, and the old lover. Now, at the level of energy, the way we cleanse the connection with the past relationship is by using the elements of fire or water. So, the way you want to work with fire is by doing a burning ceremony. So, you take a piece of paper and you write the name of your past lover. You can actually go a bit deeper and start describing the negative aspects of this relationship as well. Then you take this piece of paper and you burn it. And when you burn it, I want you to really feel that all of the attachments, all of the cords, all of those connections, they are being burnt, change into ashes, change into air. And the way we work with water is you can take a shower and again just visualize the drops of water purifying you from that old energy. You can take a bath, and in this case, it's really good to add salt. So add a lot of salt into your bath because salt actually pulls the energy, the old energies out of your body. Or you can go and swim in the ocean. So if you have access to the ocean or the sea, there you have salty water, which is just great to pull everything out. And the last level, that's the emotional level. And really the only way we clear things emotionally is by letting ourselves feel them. So if that means having to cry, having to scream, having to hit the pillows, shake your body, do all of this. Let this energy move. So now the final step is being able to change this pattern. Like, we don't want to go back to this. Like, enough is enough of this toxicity. You, darling, deserve a harmonious relationship for a difference. So the way you want to work with this is actually going back to different thoughts and emotions. So of course it's a process, right? We do all of these clearing processes, and then we move forward, and then we step back. Then we move forward and we step back. That's normal. So anytime you have these negative thoughts or these painful emotions come up, what you want to do is start investigating them. So close your eyes and go into your body and just feel, what is the message you have for me? What are you trying to tell me? Because there is a message. So oftentimes, if you find yourself feeling abandoned by that person, that they just left you, when you go inside into your heart, what you're going to feel is the pain of you abandoning yourself. It's your heart telling you, stop letting go of yourself, start choosing yourself. So there's a lot of insights and a lot of wisdom in your body behind the negativity that you're experiencing. So through that process, you get to understand what it is that you need to do, what it is that you need to provide yourself so that you don't find these toxic men or women attractive, right? Because right now you're attracted to that person. You're not attracted to someone who would be harmonious, safe, and healthy for you. So the more you bring this harmony to yourself, the more you meet your own needs, right? The more you take care of this inner child, the more you'll be able to start seeing other potentials. You'll stop being attracted to toxic people, and you'll start noticing and be curious about people who are actually good for you. So it's very important that any relationship that ended was there to give you a lesson. And the essential part of moving on from any relationship is to learn those lessons. So really take the time. If you have recently experienced a breakup, and I know a lot of people have during the lockdown, take time to really investigate and dive deep. Learn those lessons, because when you do, this is when you're ready to move on to a better relationship. So often people don't want to look at the lesson. They just numb themselves. They jump into another relationship right away. They go into the rebound. They have a lot of sex to just kind of stop thinking about the pain. But what you're doing is that you're delaying the lesson that is going to come back to your life. So if you truly want to break the pattern, if you truly want to start attracting different relationships, you have to look at those lessons, you have to learn them, integrate them, and then you'll notice that the old patterns will naturally fall off and you start attracting different people. So remember, you're doing this not to just feel better in this moment, but to feel better for the rest of your life. Like, if you want a great relationship, you want it for the rest of your life. You want to feel loved and happy and met for the rest of your life. So it's okay to go slow if that's where you are right now, because you're in it for a long game. Don't rush things that you want to last forever. So my love, if you would like to work with me and have my assistance in this process, if you feel like it's difficult to do it on your own and you would like to speak to me and get the tools and exercises from me to help you move through this and integrate all those lessons, then check the link in the description of this video. You can sign up for a free discovery call. It's a half-an-hour call where we get to talk and see if we're a good match to work together. And if you have any other questions or anything else regarding your intimate life, your sexuality, your relationships, I'm available for this as well. So you can book the call. Let's talk. Let's see in what way I could help you manifest the most beautiful and fulfilling relationship and intimate life. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I'll be catching you soon with more.